Who cares?
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my prediction for the upcoming UFC Fight Night. Aaron Blanchfield versus Macy Barber. And we're gonna hop right into it. Just give me 1 second. Alright, here we go. First fight of the night is in the women's strawweight division. We have Ryan Dos Santos versus Alice Ardelian? Alice? I don't know. Alice? Romanian, I don't know how do you say. Alice, I don't know. Alright, we talk about the fight. It's the first fight of the night, first of all, but it's also kind of the first fight for survival in the UFC. Because they're both 0-2 in the UFC without having any big hype trains behind them. No big winning streaks, no titles in other promotions, nothing like that. They both fight rather grappling heavy, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see how the fight's going to turn out, if it's going to be a stand-up war or if it's going to be non-stop grappling. I'm leaning towards Adelian just for being more experienced and having fought the much stronger competition. I think that could give her the edge and should give her the edge to win a decision here. So I'm going for Adelian by decision. We move on. In the lightweight division, we have Bolaji Oki versus Michael Aswell. Aswell? I don't know, maybe not as well. Michael Aswell. I thought that in his last fight, Oki has showed a rather big hole in his game by getting submitted like rather easily from a position where you should not really get submitted from this position. And who did he fight? One second. He did not fight a guy that was known for his guillotines, so it was kind of surprising. Let me just double check that. Don't say something wrong. And Chris Duncan is very much known for. No, he's not. He's not known for his guillotine. So he showed a hole, but I think he's going to work on that. He has been working for the past half year. I guarantee you, he's been working on that to solve this problem. Aswell, so far in his career, he has actually failed whenever he had to step up and have a big test. He has failed so far, always. And I think Bolaji Oki is a very tough test, and that will actually cement the strength for Michael Aswell. I'm sorry. TKO for Bolaji Oki, I think, might be in the second or third round. Could be early. Yeah, I'm sticking to second or third round. TKO for Bolaji Oki. And we move on. We have a catch weight. It should be welterweight, but Andreas Gustafsson's opponent changed kind of last minute, and Trevin Giles hopped off the couch. This one's very hard to predict to me. One, Trevin Giles is coming off the couch, so you don't know how good in shape he's going to be. Second, he is on a 3-fight losing streak. Those are the questions I have for Trevin Giles, but the question Andreas Gustafsson should ask himself, who did Giles lose to? And he fought very, very tough competition. I admit that Gustafsson has some momentum with him, but even on short notice, I think that Trevin Giles should be just too good for him. I mean, too good, maybe harsh thing to say, but if you look at who Trevin Giles has lost to he's lost to Malott, okay. But Malott is kind of streaking lately too. He lost to Neil Magny, and that's it. Yes. Yeah, I always have mix him up with one of the other Canadians. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's looking very, very good lately. He's upper echelon fighter. He lost to Carlos Prates, who had a main event 2 weeks ago, I think. He lost to Bonfin, who, with his brother, is showing the UFC that there are two new prospects. He lost to Michael Morales, who has just shown that he might be the prospect in the welterweight division. And he lost to Dricus du Plessis. Okay. He lost 2 fights in 2019 to not the strongest competition, but still. His last losses are to really high-level fighters, and I don't think Andreas Gustafsson qualifies for that, and I don't think he's gonna make it, and that's why I'm going with this TKO for Trevin Giles, I think. Probably even early, because Giles is not fully. He's probably gonna look for a quick payday. We move on. We have the lightweight division again. We have Kurt Holloway versus Jordan Levitt. I just realized that's one of the fights I'm looking forward to as well. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm not really excited about it. I just look forward for this fight. I think Holloway is a very tough, greedy fighter with a well-rounded, I call it the striking skill set. He has good takedown defense, but he usually does not go for takedowns himself unless he's fighting a pure striker, and then he might try to take him down to gain an advantage. But I think that Levitt is rather well-rounded too. He prefers to grapple, but he can strike pretty well too. He has some knockouts in his resume. I think it's possible that Kurt Holloway, because he's a beast. I think it's possible that he breaks Jordan Levitt. But I think Levitt is just too good of a grappler, and I think at some point he's gonna get a submission over Kurt Holloway. So, submission victory for Jordan Levitt, in my opinion. And yeah, we move on. Flyweight division, we have Jafel Filho versus Allen Nascimento. Last fight of the prelims. They're both very, very talented grapplers, but here comes the but. Allen Nascimento has had a long layoff with many injuries, I guess. Has like 4 or 5 fight cancellations before this fight. So he must have had some sort of injuries. On the other hand, we have Filho, who's streaking right now. His only loss in the UFC is to Mokaev, who's still, even though he's not in the UFC anymore, who's still undefeated. I'm not going to talk about this topic today. We move on. Yeah. But I think Filho's grappling is going to be too much for Nascimento, who might also be a little bit rusty in the ring. That's why I'm giving it to Jafel Filho by submission. There we go. And we move on. The main card is starting with middleweights. We have Zachary Rees versus Dusko Todorovic. Todorovic is a good stand-up fighter, but he's rather one-dimensional, and he can be overpowered by powerful strikers too. So it's not like if you have to stand with him, you're losing. It's not like that. He's 2-5 in his last 7 fights. I think he also is fighting for his life in the UFC. No idea why he's getting the opener, but okay. Zachary Rees is rather new in the UFC. and he had a long unbeaten streak when he entered the UFC, and then he went 2-2 in the UFC. I think that for this, I just think that Reese is a fast finisher, and Todorovic can be finished fast, so he might fall victim to this skill set of Zachary Reese. I think Zachary Reese is gonna win this one by TKO. Yep, and we move on. Women's bantamweight division. We have Ketlen Vieira versus Macy Chiasson. Give me 1 second. Nah. For a second, I thought that this might actually be the highest ranked fight on the card. Is that true? Main event is 5 versus 6. Yes, it is actually. Is it also by UFC rankings? Yeah, it is. It should be the higher ranked fight, but of course it's the UFC. They do something else. I don't know who they think is marketable of Erin Blanchfield or Macy Barber, because Macy Barber was marketable a couple of years back, but I don't see it anymore actually. Okay, we move on. This, just for the record, this is the highest ranked fight of the night. On paper, it should be a very competitive fight, but actually, I don't think that Macy Chiasson is a threat to Ketlen Vieira, she's the first person, kind of the first person who made Kayla Harrison look human. Actually, let me double check that. Has anyone ever? Oh, she has been beaten, no? Didn't she lose once? Yeah, she lost to Pacheco. Yeah, but she looked good. She looked good even in the Ketlen Vieira loss. That's her name. Oh my god. In her loss to Harrison. She looked good. She defended a lot of takedowns. She got out of a lot of good positions and she made her gas. And Chiasson hasn't beaten anyone. I mean, she's beaten a couple of girls, but she's not beaten. I don't think she's beaten anyone with a lot of main. She's beaten Mayra Bueno Silva, but it was a doctor stoppage. She didn't want to stop. She wanted to keep going, so we don't know what would have happened in that fight. Other than that, she beat like Marion Renault or something like that. No. Yes, she did beat Marion Renault, and I think Marion Renault at one time did fight for the belt. Did she not? Or almost fought for the belt? No, she didn't. All right. But she's there for a long time. Established, so I give her that one, but other than that, she's beaten no one. And I don't think that she's going to beat Ketlen Vieira. I think Ketlen Vieira is going to catch her at some point. And I've seen Macy Chiasson kind of give up during a fight, and I think that's what we're going to see on Saturday as well. So, yeah. Women's bantamweight, Ketlen Vieira by TKO over Macy Chiasson is my prediction. We move on. Light heavyweight division. We have Dustin Jacoby versus Bruno Lopez. I don't know why we have this fight. I just checked the rankings. I have no idea why Bruno Lopez is ranked so high. I don't understand why he's getting the privilege of fighting Dustin Jacoby, who basically has lately only fought ranked position, no? No, maybe not ranked, but upper echelon of the light heavyweight division. And Bruno Lopez. He's done nothing in the UFC so far. Yes, okay. He's won a fight. He won a fight in the UFC, and he gets Dustin Jacoby in a second. I think they want, yeah, of course, they want an all-out stand-up war in this. It's probably going to be an all-out stand-up war. Jacoby gets another striker who's going to want to try to knock him out. But I think that Bruno Lopez at some point is going to run into a counter and is going to get finished viciously. So I'm leaning towards a KO by Dustin Jacoby. We move on. We have the welterweights Ramis Brahimaj versus Billy Ray Goff. Yeah. I have to say, Brahimaj is 3-3 in the promotion. It's not too good. And he also has only fought like the lower middleweight tier in the UFC. On the other hand, Goff might still be a prospect. He lost his first fight in the promotion. And he likes to finish. Brahimaj would be very hard to finish. But I think he can get a decision, I think. Yes. I'm leaning towards Billy Ray Goff by decision. And we move on. We have the co-main event. The fight that... The only reason I'm tuning in, actually. We have the co-main event. Lightweight division, Mateusz Gamrot versus Ludovic Klein. This has to be a good fight. I can't see a way where this is not a good fight. 1 second. There we are. I'm really excited about this one. The first fight I'm really excited about of an 11 fight card, and this is fight number 10. It should be a fun, mostly stand-up fight. Sadly, it's only 3 rounds. And I have to say, I think that Gamrot's gonna look differently. I think his loss to Hooker lit a fire under him. And he will want to show on Saturday that he worked his ass off. Ludovic Klein is undefeated in the last 3.5 years. But I think on Saturday, Mateusz Gamrot is going to change that. I don't think he's going to finish him. I think it's going to be a decision. So I think Mateusz Gamrot by decision. And we move on to the main event of the evening. We go back to the women's flyweight division. We have Erin Blanchfield versus Macy Barber. Yeah. As I said before, Macy Barber's hype train is long gone. While on the other hand, Erin Blanchfield has also kind of a hype train. She lost to Manon Fiorot, but she did fight for the belt in her next fight, which just shows that she's really, really tough competition. And also, was she undefeated before? No. Who did she lose to? She lost early to Tracy Cortez. Other than that, she's been perfect, and she lost to Manon Fiorot. Manon Fiorot is the perfect counter. Physically, she's the perfect counter to Erin Blanchfield, because Erin Blanchfield is a technical grappler, very, very skilled, very technically solid, but not the strongest. Manon Fiorot is all strength. She shrugs you just off, even if you go in deep on a takedown. So understandable that she countered her game. I don't think Macy Barber is going to be able to do the same. I hope Macy Barber, at some point in her career, going to be able to live up to her potential, but I don't think it's going to be this weekend. I think Erin Blanchfield's going to get a decision. I don't think she's going to submit her, but I think she's going to get the nod at the end. All right. Those were my predictions. Now we're going to have a quick overview with all the fights. Let me just move my face here. All right. First fight of the night, we have Alice Aldirean getting a decision over Ryan Dos Santos. Bolaji Oki is going to get a TKO against Michael as well. Trevin Giles, TKO over Andreas Gustafsson. Jordan Levitt, a submission against Kurt Holloway. Jafel Filho, also a submission against Alan Nascimento. Zachary Reese going to get a TKO over Dusko Todorovic. Ketlin Vieira, TKO over Macy Chiasson. Dustin Jacoby, a KO against Bruno Lopez. Can actually go the other way around, but I'm sticking with Dustin Jacoby for now. We have Billy Ray Goff, a decision against Ramis Brahimaj. Mateusz Gamrot in the co-main, a decision against Ludovic Klein, and in the main event, Erin Blanchfield, a decision against Macy Barber. Those are my picks. There's just a couple of topics I would like to address since they've been floating around the internet in the last weeks. First is the smallest of them all. I wanted to talk about Ian Gary and his views. Because he was like kind of mad at Jack Della Maddalena after he like kind of harassed him with his child and M&Ms during fight week. I have to say, if you bring your child to interact with someone and then someone says something about your child, he's not the one that brought the child into the conversation. You did. All right? You brought your child. You set up your child to kind of provoke something out of Della Maddalena, I don't know. And then he talked about him. You brought the child. You're responsible. All right? That's just all I'm going to say about this, because it's pathetic. You can't take the high road after you're the one that started on the low road. You brought your child, and now he's talking about your child. Boo-hoo. Okay. Now we come to some more debatable topics, I think. First of all, I want to talk about deserved title shots or undeserved. I think it's funny how, especially in the last week, Justin Gaethje and Ian Gary demanded their title shots. They're both on one fight winning streaks. Even worse, this week we learned that Yair got his second title shot, going 1-2 in his last 3. And he gets a title shot after that. I don't know why. I to be honest, I'm a huge fan of Yair. I love his fighting style. And I want him to succeed. But he does not deserve this opportunity. Because he's 1-2 in his last 3 fights. You don't get a title shot after if you go 1-2. Except when you've been the reigning champ for I don't know how many fights. That might be the exception. When you can go 1-2 and get an immediate title shot after. Other than that, I'm sorry, you just don't deserve it. And I want to just paint a picture for you guys to make the problem a little more clear. At welterweight alone, just welterweight, right now, Belal Muhammad thinks he deserves an immediate rematch. Why? He was the champion, and they were both bleeding in the end. That's why he called it a war. And I actually didn't think it was such a war. It was more like JDM being a good striker and Belal not giving up and throwing everything at him, but wasn't enough. That's what I saw. I saw Belal Muhammad who kind of went out on his shield, who tried to go out on his shield, but wasn't hit hard enough to succeed. And didn't land himself enough to make it really a war or make it a close decision. So I don't think he deserves a rematch after that. Sean Brady thinks he deserves the next title shot because he's #1 contender and he just submitted the former champ. Shafkat thinks he deserves the next title shot because he had the title shot before he had his injury. And unlike others, he made his injury public, and that helped the UFC keep face for that event, and he might actually get it right after he comes back from his injury. Leon Edwards, who also just lost to Sean Brady, thinks that one good performance gets him right back to the belt. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, just like the guy we were talking about earlier, Yair Rodriguez. Yeah. Kamaru Usman still thinks he's the worldwide GOAT anyways and deserves everything and anything in the division, everything he wants. Even though he's on a 3-fight skid. Then we have Ian Gary, who thinks losing a close fight to Rachmanov is like a win or should grant you a title shot. I disagree with that too. Then we have Joaquin Buckley, who just stopped a former title challenger in Colby. Then we have Michael Morales at #8. The first person in welterweight who does not thinks or claims he thinks to deserve a title shot. The first person. Everybody else, yes, I'm next in line. Of course I'm next in line. I lost 2, but who cares? And welterweight, we always have, of course, Colby Covington, who always, in his mind, deserves everything. So we have like 8 people. Plus, we have Islam coming up. And basically, we have already the information that he's going to get the next shot. But we have like 5-6 guys who think they're next. I don't understand this. I just don't understand this. Merab was a different story. Okay? The winning streaks of Belal and Leon Edwards were both not filled with high talent of the division. You had the big streaks, yes, but who did you beat? Exactly. And now my last topic of the day and this week's video. Let me just check how long is my video already. Are we already going very long? Looks like it. Oh yeah. Okay, we have to finish this up quickly. Last topic, double champ status. Since the UFC now wants to get rid of everyone trying to become a double champ, I have to speak out on this. There's many sports on this planet that have weight divisions. Many of them are fighting sports or combat sports. But whenever you are in a weight division and you're dominating your weight division, whether it's weightlifting, judo, wrestling, fighting, boxing, it doesn't matter. When you're dominating your weight division to accomplish greatness and a bigger portfolio, I'd say, they always try to become the double champ. Judoka move a weight up, they sign for their weight and the weight above to have higher competition. It's normal. It's what people do to push themselves. And in every sport, it's good and it's all right for those guys to try that because they are the best in their division. And it's fair for them to try out if they are also the best in another division. That doesn't mean they're not the best at their division they came from in the first place. They're still the best in that division. What you could have done, make Ilya versus Charles a number 1 contender fight. And wait for the Islam welterweight title fight. And then he can come back down. I don't think Ilya wants to go back down. So I have no issue here. But forcing Islam to vacate his belt while you have a John Jones situation on the other end, you know, seems super unfair. It doesn't seem in the best interest of the sport, because I think in the best interest of the sport is always to find the people that are transcending weight divisions, that are not bound by 155, 170, 185. They can go up or maybe even go down and try to beat that champ as well. I don't think it should. I think you should have a couple of defenses before you're eligible to try. But if you have, go for it. I think it's good for the sport. The only reason I can come up for to disallow people to do that is greed. Of course, you have more, you can make more fights, you have more control, you have more championship fights if you have a different champion for each division. If you have one champion for 2 divisions, of course, that's just one championship fight less you can make. Because he can't fight twice in 2 divisions, you know? That's the only reason. And it's only about this. It's only about money. And that just pisses me off completely, because this is not how a sport should work. It should not be taken advantage of. It's not in the best interest of the sport. The best interest of the sport is to find out who the best fighters are, transcending weight divisions even. Disallowing it is just pure greed from the UFC, and I dislike. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this, my yapping around. I'm going to finish it right now. And yeah, I'm going to see you guys in the next one. I hope you had a good one. Have a nice weekend. I'm not sure, because I'm on vacation, I'm not sure when or whether even I'm going to make a reaction video. But we'll see. All right. That's it for now. Have a good weekend. And I see you guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, please. See you guys.